Hello, guys. I'm happy to have you one more time. This is Professor Victor with on this station Beyond Economics. Today I have a very interesting topic. I keep saying interesting because I'm curating very wonderful topics that are very contemporary, very important, and worthy of dialogue within this ecosystem I just launched into. So today we'll be looking at how not to make money. I'm doing a reverse engineering on our minds today. How not to make money. Over the years, every now and then, on blogs, on the internet, in our environment where we live, we keep hearing, oh, I want to make money, I want to make extra bucks, I want to make extra $100, I want to make extra. Everybody's on the chase to make extra money. Everybody's on the chase to make extra money. But have you ever thought what ways not to make money so you can know the right way to make money? Like, you don't tell a young lad not to put his hand in the fire. If he puts his hand and gets burnt, he understands by default that, wow, I shouldn't do this next time. So what ways don't we make money, or we shouldn't make money through those ways? One of the very first one is by borrowing. That is not the route or the way to wealth creation. That is not one of the proven vehicles to wealth creation. I'm going to reiterate that now. One way not to make money, one way not to be financially independent is not by borrowing or begging. Yeah, I know there is a disclaimer on that, and I'm going to make the balance because I live in the West, and the West is a credit-based system. It's a debt-based system. I've lived in the West for 12 years, and I know how it works, and I know the power of leverage. Before some of you will come on the comment section and say, no, you need to leverage. Yes, I'm going to make the balance, but let me just establish the fact in terms of context. You cannot build wealth. You cannot build wealth by borrowing or by begging. Let me stress on begging. There's a limit. There's a limit to which someone can be benevolent to you. There's a limit to which someone can be generous to you. There's a limit to which an institution can be generous to you. Like people have foundations, like the where I hail from in Nigeria, the $10 Foundation, the Dangote Foundation, the Bill Gates Foundation, the Microsoft Foundation. These guys have limits. They have a threshold. They have, most of them say 10%, 20%. They have a threshold. They have a cap to which you can beg. They can be generous. They can be benevolent. So you cannot build wealth by begging or by borrowing. I'm using this in the context of just leveraging on other people's money. However, in the subsequent videos, I'm going to make a video on borrowing, how you can leverage on borrowing to build wealth. But what we've seen over the years is that people that borrow or beg for just survival are people that cannot build wealth. But you can borrow you can leverage on financial institutions. You can leverage on borrowing. I mean, worthwhile borrowing. I mean, positive borrowing in terms of leveraging to build wealth. That's another different story entirely. But in the context why I'm saying this, that begging and borrowing are not proven pathways to generating wealth or creating wealth for generations after us, I mean after you. So that being said, you cannot get money, you cannot make money by borrowing or by begging. There are people, we call them back home in Nigeria professional beggars. They just beg you with all different styles, all manner, all patterns, all forms, just beg at a particular time of the month. They know he's going to be paid, she's going to be paid, especially for those of us in diaspora, know he has money and all of that. So you can build wealth like that. You can build substantial wealth like that. You can accumulate wealth by borrowing or by begging. That's a fact, proven. Another way you cannot build wealth is by gambling or lottery. Gambling or lottery, and I'm going to dwell a bit more here by gambling or lottery. Studies have shown from Vegas gambling agencies, and I've forgotten the name now, and also studies back home in Nigeria and most developing countries. You will notice that most lottery ticket winners, after a very short time, they lose all the money. You can't get wealth. You can't build substantial wealth by gambling and by lottery. It's only momentarily. After a while, the money fizzles out. Why? Because those individuals that have gambled and probably had luck smile on them. The slot machine was in their favor. Slot machines, those casino games were in their favor, let's say. But the persons in question lack capacity, lack the wherewithal to grow or perpetuate wealth. So you can't grow wealth like that. You can't make money by gambling. You can't make money by lottery. Proven over the years, proven. We've seen lottery winners win $1 million, win $10 million. Sometimes they ask them, how do we pay you? Is it this coupon value over time or outrightly, a lump sum or in piecemeal? Most of them go for piecemeal, most of them go for lump sum payments, and they get it, and before you say jack, the money is gone. You can make wealth, you can build wealth by gambling and by lottery, like I've said. And if you notice, most of the lottery companies, these guys are designed. I know sometimes we say education is a scam back in Africa or back most developing countries. Education is not a scam. If you are very good in numerical mathematics, if your background is very good in numerical mathematics and you understand what we call game theory in economics, you understand how it works. The casinos are not designing your advantage. The casinos, the slot machines, the owners of those gaming system are designed for the owners to win. Only a fraction, only a very minimal fraction, at best, to their best of benevolence, 10%. So what is the probability it will be you? Why leave your probability to a very slim chance when you can create wealth in other way? So one way not to make money, in a summary, you can make money by gambling, you can make money by lottery. Another way you cannot make money, this is going to be a very controversial one, is by marriage. Is by marriage. You can make money by marriage. You're married, or you intend to get married to a rich person, or a rich guy, or the other way around, a guy intends to get married to a rich lady just for the essence of creating wealth. You can make money by marriage. I'm not going to say much on that because it's quite controversial, but it's a fact. You can make substantial wealth, monumental wealth, transferable wealth by marriage, obviously, proven over time. Yeah, momentarily you get some assets in your advantage. However, over time, if the capacity to retain the wealth are not there, it will be lost in transit. It will be lost in bad character, bad behavior, bad financial lifestyle, and all of that. So you can make wealth by. We've seen a lot of videos on the internet space whereby people go into divorce. If you're in the West, where I live now, most of the wealth are splitted between the couples, and before you know, the one with the financial intelligence and the financial acumen retains the wealth. The one that was just there to get the wealth, to get his or her share, whichever the case, divorce could go either way, lose the wealth. So you can make money by marriage. Furthermore, and very interestingly, which is what we see back in developing countries, you can make money by stealing, you can make money by fraud. You know, we've seen several dozens of examples. People go into what they call 419, fraudulent activities, BIC, business compromising people's email to get money. We've seen several videos, dozens of videos. FBI will trail you. The Interpol will get you. In the long run, just momentary enjoyment, just for the now, but it's not sustainable. You are going to be caught. The arms of the law is going to catch up with you, especially if you live in the West, like I live. There's a lot of scrutiny. You know, your annual salary is XYZ dollars, and before you know, you bought a car XYZ, cash payment. How did you generate that one? You need to explain to the tax authorities. I know that's not the case in most of the places. I don't know where you'll be viewing from back in Africa. I don't know if that's the case now. I know in some other countries where institutions are weak, where the qualities of institutions are weak, maybe you can go away with it, but not in the West. So you can make money, you can make substantial wealth, monumental wealth by stealing, by gambling, by cheating. No. If you look at the guys on the Forbes list, they are all men of integrity, although some people have their critics about them, but you can find out that they stole money from this, stole money for this. They've built equity, they've built the equities in investment, in companies, both their personal companies and into equity shares, in equity ownership into other companies as well, to have accumulated their net worth to what we see them to be today. So you can make money by stealing, by cheating and all of that. And finally, for the sake of this video, you cannot make money by inheritance. Yeah, arguably, a lot of people will criticize this or probably have a different opinion about this, and I'm going to explain what I mean in terms of context. Just hear me out. You can make money by inheritance. You will see recipients or people that have accumulated wealth, or wealth was passed over to them. We have a lot of visible stories back in Nigeria, and even where I live in Turkey here. In Turkey, you know, for most people we say Turkey, whatever. So most people, we've seen wealth passed on to the next generation, but because the one that received the wealth by transfer in terms of inheritance with little or no tax. I think for Turkey now, the tax for inheritance wealth is just 1%. Imagine you get $1 billion, you're going to be taxed only $1 million, you're going to be taxed only 1%. 1% tax, for example. You know, so it means you are literally having all the money, but who are you passing the money to? And that's why I encourage parents. I encourage those that have stewards that they are superintending over. Beyond will, beyond transferring the money, have what we call a trust. It's a superior one to the will. Have a trust with a lot of instructions, with a lot of caveats on the instructions. This cannot be sold. These assets cannot be liquidated or until these conditions are fulfilled. Because over the time, statistics have shown that most of the people that get transferred wealth to, or wealth being transferred to them, before you say Jack, like I said in every other point, the money is lost. You cannot build substantial wealth via the channel of inheritance. So those are the points I want to outline to us today on this episode on how not to make money, how money is not made, how substantial wealth is not made. I keep using the word substantial because you could make you could make a few $1 million here and there from this means, but over time it just flies like a bird. So write on the chat column which one resonates very much with you. Let's see which one resonates with you. Can you make, which of these ways can't you make money with? And let's keep the conversation flying over there. So please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. A lot of very profitable topics are being curated on the pipeline, and as a promise, we promise to, when I mean we, me and my team, those editing the videos and the guys behind the camera, we have made a deliberate commitment to always curate very viable and worthwhile content to you. Thank you, and see you on the next one. Bye. Ciao.